What if I told you guys that Donald Trump is planning on creating his own Gestapo? What would your reaction be if I told you that? Well, that's not hyperbolic. It's actually happening. So let me walk you through the plan here. This is in Politico. Trump allies circulate mass deportation plan calling for processing camps and a private citizen army. Private citizen army. Okay, here we go. A group of prominent military contractors, including the former Blackwater CEO Eric Prince, has pitched the Trump White House on a proposal to carry out mass deportations through a network of processing camps on military bases, a private fleet of 100 planes, and a small army of private citizens empowered to make arrests. So, just to put in perspective for you how wild this is, the CEO of Blackwater is a guy by the name of Eric Prince. What is Blackwater? Blackwater is a private mercenary army that was used, and by the way, they are also Christian fundamentalists. That's noteworthy. They were used in Iraq, and in Iraq, there were many Blackwater officials, Blackwater soldiers, who committed many atrocities and war crimes, including one called the Nisour Square Massacre. They went into an Iraqi square in the middle of the day and started gunning down civilians left and right, and they were found guilty of this crime. And Donald Trump pardoned them in his first term. He pardoned Blackwater war criminals. Why? Because Pete Hegseth knew these guys, went and lobbied Trump to say, hey, can you free my war criminal buddies? And Trump said, sure, why not? I'll free the war criminals. And so he did. Eric Prince is the CEO of Blackwater, the private Christian fundamentalist mercenary army that are in the war crimes business. And this is who he wants, creating a private army to aid with mass deportation. So they say this: the blueprint, laid out in a 26-page document President Donald Trump's advisors received before the inauguration, carries an estimated price tag of $25 billion and recommends a range of aggressive tactics to rapidly deport 12 million people before the 2026 midterms, including some that would likely face legal and operational challenges, according to a copy obtained by Politico. The group, which includes some former immigration officials, is led by Prince, who has close ties to Trump, and Bill Matthews, the former chief operating officer of Blackwater, the military contractor known for its role in providing security training and logistical support to U.S. forces in Iraq and Afghanistan during the War on Terror. The emergence of the proposal, marked unsolicited, is indicative of the major hurdles of the administration faces as it struggles to find the resources to fulfill Trump's ambitious deportation agenda. The administration's desire to make good on that signature campaign promise has created an opening for private contractors who see a rare area in which the Trump administration is likely to increase spending. Guys, we're seeing this across the board too with private prisons. The private prison stocks skyrocketed after Trump won because they're under the impression, we're going to get these big contracts to have immigrant concentration camps where we store immigrants there and then eventually ship them wherever the hell we want to ship them. And then, of course, you had Trump. Remember, Trump came out and announced, we're sending immigrants to Guantanamo Bay, but don't worry, we're sending the worst of the worst. Well, guess what? Somebody did an analysis and found out very quickly that a very large number of the people being sent to Guantanamo Bay have zero criminal record. So it was a lie when he said, we're only sending the worst of the worst. The violent ones, the real violent ones are being sent to Guantanamo Bay. This is an extrajudicial prison, no due process, no habeas corpus, no way to hey, should I be here? Can I check? Is there any recourse whatsoever? Can I have a lawyer? Like all that stuff, throw it out. Just exactly like what happened with the War on Terror when Bush and Cheney put people there illegally, right? Kept innocent people there for an extended period of time. Trump is doing that with immigrants. And you're not going to be surprised to find out there's been some horror stories so far. ICE detained a Puerto Rican family. Well, guess what? They were U.S. citizens. One of the people they detained in that family was a toddler. You also had a U.S. veteran in Newark, New Jersey, who ICE arrested. And, of course, like I said, this is a U.S. citizen. He was a veteran. And what? He didn't have his papers on him, so they arrested him? This is psychotic stuff that we're talking about here. But to show you how far gone we are on this issue in particular, this was released the other day by the White House released this. ASMR, illegal alien deportation flight. You literally can't make this up. Here, let me play some of this for you. This is disturbing. I mean, you get the picture. They released a fascist snuff film. That's what this is. And we're going to discuss later, Trump released another snuff film, this time about colonizing Gaza and glorifying the genocide. Again, more on that later, but Jesus Christ, man. These are human beings, right? These are human beings. The overwhelming majority of people who come here are good, hardworking, law-abiding, family people who are just trying to make a better lives for themselves and their kids. And as you all know, because we've covered this 5 trillion times, there's been studies on this. Immigrants are much less likely to commit crimes than U.S.-born Americans. Much less likely. Both documented immigrants and undocumented immigrants. And what are they doing? Arresting innocent people, deporting whoever the hell they can get their hands on, releasing fascist snuff films, and now planning his own Gestapo. Oh, wow, what could go wrong? A 10,000-person private army for Donald Trump, run by the Blackwater war criminal, Christian fundamentalist crusader, Eric Prince. By the way, don't take my word on it. Do yourself a favor. Go read Jeremy Scahill's book, Blackwater, to learn more about Blackwater. But this was, they viewed themselves as like crusaders. We are crusaders. We're going to go to Iraq. We're going to implement our Christian ideology, force it on the population. As I said, they committed war crime after war crime. This is who he wants running a 10,000-person private army loyal to him. Now, of course, as you all know, the way it works, or at least the way it used to work, is that Congress has this thing called the power of the purse. So they would have to allocate funding for something like this. But my guess is what Trump will do, because this is what he's done on so many issues, is take some other portion of the budget, grab that money, and say, this is... Basically, it's already accounted for. Don't worry about it. And we're going to use this money to pay my 10,000-person private army Gestapo led by a Blackwater war criminal. That's my guess. Is just like with everything else, they're going to try to weasel out of the legal angle and make it so that they say, oh, no, it's totally cool. We just paid for my private army, but don't worry about it because we say it's legal, so it's legal. This is why he came out the other day and said, only the president and the attorney general can comment on what the law is. That's a giant middle finger to the courts and a giant middle finger to Congress. Sorry, just kick the kick the camera, but what else is there to say about this, man? He's trying to create his own Gestapo, and I don't think that's even a little bit hyperbolic, based on how everything has been trending to this point. If anything, I'm more surprised he didn't try to do this earlier. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.